And today's question is, what are the Browns' looming contract decisions? Now, this is sort of beyond just free agency, right? Guys that are hitting free agency, but the Browns are getting to a point where they're going to have contract extensions and make decisions on some key star players coming up. So as far as looming contract decisions, let's talk about the big one. They're going to have to figure out what to do with Baker-Mayfield here soon. Mary Kay, you look at they're going to have to make a decision on his fifth-year option. It would be surprising if they didn't pick that up, but then he's eligible for an extension. And you've got Patrick Mahomes, who's probably going to sign an extension soon. Deshaun Watson is probably going to sign an extension soon. These quarterbacks just get more and more expensive. And if you're the Browns, look, it would be great if you're able to pay Baker Mayfield, if you can justify paying him a big extension after this year. That means a lot of things went right for this football team and for him. But that's really kind of the first big decision they have to make. Even if it's not something they absolutely have to do next offseason, that's still kind of a big decision looming.
Yeah, first they'll do Myles Garrett and get that one out of the way as soon as they possibly can. But yes, Baker Mayfield is looming large. And when they head into this season, and he knows it, when they head into this season, they are going to be trained on him, focused on him to see if he is absolutely 100% the quarterback of the future that deserves that next contract and that $30 million plus a year average, which it just sounds so astronomical, but that is the going rate these days for your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, all the problems the Browns had last season, this is kind of one of those things that has lingered. The fact that Baker Mayfield didn't have that improvement off his rookie year that a lot of people were expecting. So now you're in the situation where it's just one more reason he needs to have a good season. And I think however long it takes for him to start negotiations or get that contract, it might be kind of a referendum on how the Browns feel about him in the future. That's what we're going to be writing about next offseason, no matter how things go this season. It's going to be, when's Baker going to get that extension? Is he going to get it? And what's it going to be? So, again, it's a huge season for him from that standpoint. He's got to show that last season was kind of just a blip on the radar and that, yes, he can be the guy that they wanted when they picked him number one overall.
And there's another guy that's going to be a very interesting discussion to frame analytically. Again, not a guy who's headed for free agency. He's locked up through the 2021 season. He won't be a free agent until then, but Nick Chubb is a guy that might come knocking on Andrew Berry's door and say, I've put together 3 really good seasons. I've been one of the best players on the team. I might kind of like a contract extension right now. That's going to be interesting over the next year or two, how the Browns sort of approach Nick Chubb, because he really has established himself as one of the best running backs in the league. Should have won the rushing title in 2019. He's going to have a chance to do it in 2020. Again, he's not a free agent until after 2021, but if he wanted to, he could maybe push the issue a little bit and get himself paid. And I'm just curious how the Browns are ultimately going to approach that situation as well.
Well, I think everybody looks at Nick Chubb as sort of the, almost one of the faces of the franchise right now. I think, he's everything that they want in a football player, the character, the absolute on the field selflessness, the never say die attitude. He's what they really want. And they want to take care of their homegrown players. They want to extend those guys. And I think they're going to want him here. So I think he will be in line for one of those extensions. He falls into that group of about 5 or 6 guys that I think they will be very determined to wrap up long-term.
Now, Kareem Hunt, you mentioned him, Scott. He's an interesting case because he will be a free agent after this season. And he's kind of coming off, obviously, he was one of the best backs in the league when he first showed up in Kansas City, had the incident at the hotel downtown at the 9, got cut by the Chiefs, came to Cleveland, had to serve an 8-game suspension. If this guy's right, if he's healthy and he's a featured back, we're talking about him as one of the best backs in football as well. So this is a guy that might have an opportunity with a strong season to get paid. Does it seem likely it would happen here in Cleveland? Probably not, especially if they view Nick Chubb as a long-term guy that they want to sign. But Kareem Hunt is an interesting case for this football team, and that's going to be a tough decision, especially if he has a big year.
I think half the team's on 1-year contracts. Isn't that the case this year? Everybody's got a 1-year deal.